Welcome to Cage Confessions with the.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I was like, nah.
Cage Chronicles. Cage Chronicles. It's not.
It's his own podcast. He doesn't know what it's called. Chronicles.
It's still going. All right. Okay. Welcome to Cage Chronicles. Cage Confessions sounds like the after hours one, the adult version.
Man, I'm actually sent off. Sorry, that sent me off. So
We've had a few technical issues, mostly to do with Robin.
I really hope we have a blooper section for this because that was brilliant. So
are we still running? Are we really running? Okay.
Cage Chronicles. We're here.
Edit that bit out.
Going
Cage Chronicles. So how are you guys doing?
Good. I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you, James?
Yep, good. Thank you.
Good. We're having a little think about what we're going to discuss today, and a few people online were giving us a few suggestions. James gave us no suggestions at all. Didn't even read what we're going to do. But we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been doing and what we've been doing in the gym, and then we'll have a little chat about the upcoming stuff we've got going on in the World Championships and things.
What's the first topic?
Jonathan Haggerty. So we just had Jonathan Haggerty, double champ, Muay Thai champ, kickboxing champ for one championship, one of the best strikers in the world, if not the best. Came and do a seminar at the gym, which was absolutely amazing. James wasn't there, but Kev was there, myself was there. It was very slick, really nice guy as well. So that was really cool. What did you think of it, Kev?
No, I really enjoyed it. Hey, I mean, obviously, like real fan of him, and then awesome experience to actually be able to like meet him in person, and then like flip in train and
so we got the dog coming down as well. Hello, Nook.
No, so good. It was awesome. Like, it's really cool. I really love his style because like I really like my movement and stuff when I fight, when I train. And obviously, just seeing all of his fights previously, like, so it was really cool because the things that he taught were all like things I've seen him do in his fights as well. So I really, really enjoyed that. That was pretty sad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because pretty much everything he taught was something that you knocked someone out with, or he damaged them with, and either way, he was losing that distance and moving in. And then changing stance a lot, moving out of range and setting stuff up from there.
Yeah, I really like the feints and stuff, like especially like for me, I've been playing with like switching to southpaw and all that, and like the way he was using like his shots, like switch kick going back into southpaw was like really tricky. Like it was very like you wouldn't even notice it in front of you. Yeah. But then even if you did cop on, the way he would feint back into orthodox again and then throw other stuff, it was just really cool. Like really like off-putting if you're fighting that. So I really like that. Definitely want to work on it in the gym a little bit and add it to the arsenal. You know. Yeah,
but sorry, the dog's just walking around here. Just oh no. Uh-oh. That's all right. I thought he was going to... Yeah, he's back out again. Yeah, it was an awesome seminar. I really like the way he moved slightly out of range every time because he's moving back to draw someone in, and that's all the combos are from that as well. So he'd work his kicks off there, his elbows off there. It was amazing. Then he had brought his one championship belts, and they were like crazy heavy.
I couldn't believe that. Hey, like he handed it to me. I was like, oh geez, like I wasn't expecting it at all. Like man,
it's pretty cool that I saw like on the stories that he bought them. It's pretty cool, and they got their own little cases and everything as well.
Yeah. And he's going to go for the MMA title now next.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So he currently holds the title for Muay Thai and kickboxing.
I think it's like a bantamweight or something around there, and he's beaten the guy who has the MMA title. And he knocked him out, I think, or he stopped him.
That was in kickboxing.
Yeah, but then he owns the MMA title, so he's going to fight him for the MMA title.
To fight him in MMA.
So when it comes to the difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing, obviously, is it kickboxing is no elbows, no knees.
No, you can knee. So Muay Thai, you've got clinch, you've got elbows in the pocket and stuff, elbows from range and stuff. Kickboxing, you can't tie up, or I think in K1 rules you can like grab with one hand for a second and throw a knee. You're not really catching kicks so much. And it's just a lot more fast paced, that kickboxing and Muay Thai. But even in one championship, they stop it a lot in the clinch. So you can, normal Muay Thai, you can like clinch for like 3 rounds, 5 rounds, and just keep clinching. But it just seems to be that they give you like a few seconds and they break it, and then they restart it again. So because they've got when we're over in Thailand next week, Alex Roberts from Perth, he's fighting for the heavyweight title. So I'd like to see how that is because he clinches a lot, and I want to see how how much to let them get away with.
Yeah. So, is it much of a difference, do you think, to like switch between the two martial arts, like the Muay Thai and the kickboxing? You know how like when you sort of, especially with MMA, like you're training everything, but it's like you know, like I was talking to Courtney the other day, and she was saying it's like a lot to just like you're focusing on just boxing, and then when you go back to MMA now, all of a sudden you've got to like change it up and think differently and get. Is it? I reckon it's a big difference between the Muay Thai and the kickboxing, or
I think it's similar to like jiu-jitsu in that gi you can transfer to no gi, but not the other way around sometimes because you don't know how to grab the grips and things like that. So you can go from Muay Thai to kickboxing, but go back the other way.
Right.
I don't know how to clinch. You know, so that's a big aspect of it. Clinch work and the distance is a little bit off, a little bit different. So going one way is easier than it is going the other way.
What about like holding yourself back from doing techniques that you're not allowed to do? Because before I had like 2 or 3 striking fights before MMA fights, and I think my first 2 were K1, so kickboxing, and then after that was Muay Thai. But even like when I trained, like I always trained like Muay Thai, so like catching kicks and things like that. And then multiple times in the fight, like I would catch and sweep, and then like kind of got away with some of it, but then the ref was like, no, I can't do that. Or you're in the clinch as well, and the same thing, like let go. It's just kind of like it's instinct if you train at muscle memory and stuff as well. So it's hard to.
Sometimes when I do boxing sparring, I getting backed up to the corner, like I almost like to stop myself from throwing a knee. So I'm so used to the Muay Thai, but then obviously done boxing for the same amount of time. But it's just natural instinct to throw that knee or that kick. You just got to pull yourself back. So I suppose that isn't the same as jiu-jitsu, where you're not going to grab someone's skin and try and chuck them out.
No. I think like even like back to like Jonathan Haggerty, like I think his style though transfers really well to both of them, because like I don't know, if you look at like typical kind of like Thai fighters that like really like to get into that rhythm a lot, and I feel like that compared to like the kickboxing, his movements like really, well, I feel like superior compared to like typical kind of Thai fighters. I feel like that would really like suit in terms of transitioning from like Muay Thai to kickboxing, whereas like you were saying, if you're like predominantly like Muay Thai as well, that movement I feel like would throw you off a little bit. But
I think he's had a heap of Muay Thai, like so, like you know, I think that he's like not just kickboxing. It's like he's come from Muay Thai. I believe. And I was chatting with him, but I think he's got a good clinch game as well. So
he does have a good clinch game. That little heel to the thigh.
The
heel to the thigh. I hadn't seen that before. And then I got. Did you see that? I got first-hand experience to feel it.
So he was showing a few clinch moves, and then one of them was like lift the arm and you throw the knee. The next one was like lift the arm and then you heel to the thigh, and then you throw a knee. But he's showing it on everyone, and like everyone's leg is screwed today.
He's smart.
Like, he was saying to me, he goes, "You want to feel that?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." He goes, "You sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good."
Like heel right to the IT band, and then what he was saying was so true as well. Like as soon as he did it, like my brain went straight to my leg, and I was like, "Oh man, my leg!" But then that opens up like the knee to the body. It was like just real smart little gems like that, like boom, like heel to the thigh, and then knee to the body, and then after you've been hit twice, and then boom, like sweep after that. So it's really cool, like linking things like that, a couple of little golden nuggets, and then added to the arsenal. It's cool.
Yeah, it was definitely worth getting him along, and got a couple of opportunities for some of the people to come through, some UFC fighters. So I'm just working on them at the moment. But it's great. It was great to have someone new in, fresh in. But a few in so far, like with Brian Emerson, Ross Pearson.
I wasn't there for that one. I was a bit like, I had such FOMO.
He stayed with us for about a week. But like, no, Ross from back. He's northeast of England, so like his trainer used to be up that way. That was really cool having him over as well.
That's so cool. But like, I feel like straying away from all the striking, James. How did the quintet go?
That was good. So we had the in-house quintet competition, kind of a modified quintet competition. So on the weekend, just to get some of the guys that hadn't competed before have a go at competition.
How did it, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Like, how did it, so do you know what, like, obviously it's called a quintet. What's the actual layout for how you competed? Because I didn't realize how many people were actually going to compete in it. How did you work that? Was it like 3 teams?
It was 4 teams of 5, and we just thought when I thought about doing it, I was like, oh, we'll do like an in-house thing, but a lot of people are going to get put off if you just do one-on-one because like it's an in-house and some people with the egos and stuff. I don't know. I thought maybe that's not going to work as well.
Yeah.
But then if we do like a team thing, more people are going to do it, and I think it worked better that way. Because everyone was behind their team and they were shouting out instructions and coaching and stuff, which is really, really cool. And it was like going by weight as well. So you'd have like one of the bigger guys in each team, and you have a mix of the blue belts and the different coloured belts and stuff, and the different skill level. Because like there was guys who were just like not fairly fresh white belts as well, you know. So
I think that each team probably had a guy that had only been training for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Oh.
Each team had like a blue belt. Each team had like a big giant guy. Like, so it worked out really well. But yeah, it was surprising. Like those fresh guys, they did really well.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, and some of the roles, like it was really entertaining. Like, you were saying like at first you were like, oh, should we do a comp? And then I was like, oh, I don't know how many people would be like keen to jump in and like just do a comp versing someone like someone else in the gym sort of thing. But then Steve was like, what if we did the teams? And then I was like, oh, that'd be way better because then when you're not competing as well, it's like you're sitting there with your team and you're watching. It gives you're more invested now. Whereas like otherwise you're just stressing about your match and stuff. So you're more invested to be behind your team, and then people are trying to like strategize and stuff as well because you got the team of 5, but it's like it's a bit hard to really play a strategy because it can fall however it can fall. Like you can have like I think Ben, he went against Noah. Like Noah must be like 90, 100 kilos or something, and Ben's like 70 kilos. Like they're both white belts, but
Didn't you end up going because your team won, right?
Yeah,
James cheated.
My team definitely. Some people would say I carried my team to victory.
How many matches did you have? You?
I had one match.
You had one match?
Yeah.
What match was it?
Well, okay.
What match was it?
Let's get this. What match?
Yeah.
I went against Dan.
Was it the final match?
It was a final match.
And it was your first match?
How many matches did Dan have here?
Yeah, but see, he was on a roll. Let's not. He was on a roll, and that was from the previous rounds as well. But to be fair, we did. So everyone had to pull a card to decide the order of the teams, so it comes to my team, and I pull the card, number 1. Steve's like, no, put it back, and I'm like, damn. So pull another card, number 1. He's like, no. He's like, you're going last. I
just want to make sure that all the other guys got a chance to get a roll.
So in all fairness, like if you start first and you just annihilate everyone, then that wouldn't be a good call.
Yeah. So all my teams. So the first, because what we did was 4 teams. So 2 teams went against each other. 2 teams went against each other, and then the 2 winners of each group, the 2 winning teams of each group versed each other for say gold and silver if you like, cool, and then the 2 losing teams versus each other for like 3rd and 4th.
Yeah. That's heaps of interaction. That's awesome.
So
it looked like it went really well.
It was amazing. Definitely do it again. The guys loved it.
I didn't even get to roll in the first round because we got 5 people and the 4 guys before me took out the other team, so it didn't even get to me. And then in the second round, I was like, oh, do I go first now because I didn't get to roll? But same thing again, you want to let these guys have some competition experience. So I went 3rd, and then it just happened to be that Jackson came in first from my team and went on like a 3-win winning streak. So he took out 3 people from the other team. Yeah. And then it was Reed, and he got knocked out in a draw. So then it came to me versus Dan, and he was the last person on their team. So
did you sub him?
Yeah, so
what'd you catch him with?
Like a straight armbar from... we were in bottom half guard, and I got the lockdown, swept him, and then just got him like a straight arm.
But he hasn't thought about it a lot, though.
I haven't stopped talking about it. I changed my name in the message group to like Quintet Champion and stuff like that.
Quintet Champ.
Yeah, so... but yeah, no, it was really good, and like watching... really like entertaining roles.
I was like, cause I was teaching like the boxing class over on the side, and I was just hearing all the boys shout and getting like proper into it. And then I'd look like Pico. Literally, actually, every time we would finish like a round of like pads, and they're meant to be swapping over, everyone was just like looking over to see what was happening. And then I was like, oh, I like really should start the timer again. But I was like, oh, let me just have a little look, kind of missing out on it a bit. But definitely do it again. That'd be so cool.
And it was good the way we did it, just with the little like square, and everyone was sat around. So then it was like everyone was like packed in that middle bit. It's really cool.
Yeah, definitely got to do it again. And heaps of people have asked me, like, are we going to do another one because they didn't get to make it and stuff like that.
Maybe do one in the
New Year.
Yeah, New Year. Well, it's got all of December, but obviously we've got so many events coming up. But maybe in January.
Heaps of events coming up. They've been Thailand next week.
Yeah, we've got Thailand next week.
Fly out next week.
Yeah, I've got the worst airline ever.
When do you go? Monday, Tuesday?
Tuesday
early
morning.
early Tuesday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to keep saying Monday night so I don't mess it up.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, what time?
Because he's missed a few flights before.
I had one time in my life I was like 17 in like Greece where the flight was like, I can't remember, like 12 a.m. on the 4th, and then I woke up like on the morning of the 4th. Like thinking, it's like I know, absolutely terrible. But anyways, so need to make sure that doesn't happen this time. But I think it's all good. So fly out like Monday night, Tuesday.
So you left it to Ren to book the flights, and Ren booked the flights to the wrong friggin' airport. Or so I thought, because we're getting picked up from this other airport. It's like an hour and a half away. And I was like, oh man, you've gone to the wrong airport. And he's like, oh no. And then we looked on the distance, and it was like 8 minutes away.
8 minutes away
from the hotel, and I was like, I'm going to fly the airport as well.
Yours was
an hour and a half. Yeah, but we're going to get picked up. But I'd rather just get the equivalent. I think like Bolt. I think they call it over there. That's not an Uber. It's like that similar thing. And you get picked up from there. So that'll be pretty good. I've been looking at all the different teams and stuff. So they've got teams from all over the world going. So there should be good numbers. I was having a look at the all the lineups on Sports Data as well. There's quite a few in already, and there's still more guys to go into it. Lots of different countries, and it's always really cool. I mean, the last two I've been to, and you've been to the last one. It was just you all stay at the hotel, so you get in. I
was going to say the last two. Like
that was Oceania World. Yeah. So the first one was Singapore. You weren't there.
That's when Courtney
won. And then Amsterdam was the last one when we took a few guys over there as well. And then it's just cool because you're in the same hotel, and then all these guys are all checking out everyone else in the lift, and they're going, I think he's about my way. Who's that one? Where's he from? And everyone's wearing like the tops for the different countries and stuff. And then you have the big opening ceremony, which is really cool.
That was really fun. Time.
I think this will be bigger because, from what I've heard, I don't know, like you don't know until you get there, but the Thai government is funding a lot of it. And it's on Channel 7. So it's going to be on the same thing as what One Championship is. So I think they're putting a lot of money into it. So hopefully it's going to be a good display, and it'll be a really good opening ceremony and things like that. But again, don't hold my word to that because I'm not sure.
And I've never been to Thailand. So it's like over the course of a week in Bangkok. And what dates does it start?
So it's a few. So Wednesday, Thursday is going to be. I'm going to be tied up in all these meetings and rule meetings and this and that.
Just you?
No, you will be as well.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I might even just send you.
Just send me.
I sent Connie last time. I was stuck with one of the guys cutting weight, and I was like, Connie, could you go and just go to this meeting for us? And it lasted forever. She came out and she went, I can't believe it. I can't believe you made me go to that.
Yeah.
You owe me. But we got them ones. I think it's like, so you got the weigh-in on the Wednesday, Thursday, you got meetings and things like that. Then the Friday it starts, the opening ceremony. And then you're going to weigh in again at least on the Saturday and the Sunday if you get through. So I think there's at least 3 weigh-ins, could be 4 weigh-ins, which is a big deal. So you got to stay around your own weight because from experience it fluctuates over them days. You're trying to eat good and you're still jumping up in weight.
So you definitely want to refuel. You know what I mean? But obviously, if you do a big, massive training session, big, massive training session, your body's quite depleted from it, and then you try and refuel, you get your carbs in. You obviously want to replace electrolytes and stuff as well. If you want to perform, but
your body's got sodium in as well.
Yeah, it's just salt. So it's your body will hold on to that then. But then because you've got to make weight the following day, because your body's holding on to this kind of extra fuel because it's wants to recover over the course of 3 or 4 days. I found last time my weight was slowly going up each day, and then you kind of have this little pressure of trying to obviously make weight for the weigh-in, but you still got to pass the hydration test as well. So that's a very interesting topic as well.
So you sort of got to almost hyperhydrate and then lose more weight, and it's really crazy.
Is that day of weigh-ins?
Yeah. Each day, but imagine you compete in the battlegrounds or whatever it is, and you making weight the day before, and then you compete on the day. Then on the night, I say to you, right, okay, you can't eat and drink what you want to eat and drink. You got to watch what you eat. You got to maybe do a little bit of training, cut weight for the next day because you're going to compete again the next day. So you got to do that every day. So it's very very unique, and you have like heaps of fights, and then like you bruised up and battered from the
tournament style sort of.
It was pretty. I remember. I think I had like the first 2 fights I had in Amsterdam for the World Championships, like pretty good in terms of my weight. But then I remember it was after the second fight, I think, or maybe the third. We were at the hotel buffet because they were doing like they were providing like a hotel buffet for food. And I remember I was eating my food, and there was a couple of the guys around me like, "Aren't you fighting tomorrow? Like, don't you need to make weight?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. Like, your plate looks pretty full." And at this point, obviously, like I'm hurt, I'm hungry, I'm tired. I'm like, "Oh man, no, I'll be fine." And then check my weight afterwards and stuff, and I was like nearly 2 kilos over. And I know I've got to like wake up the next day and make weight. So I remember it was actually it was after the semi-final. So obviously like collapsed lung and everything. Didn't know at the time, but I was on the treadmill like the day of the final, like early in the morning on the treadmill with a collapsed lung. And then I remember I went to the sauna as well, and Courtney came with me, and Courtney was chilling with me, and we were like the only two at the sauna. And I remember she actually like heard like my like chest making weird sounds and stuff as well from that. But that was an absolute experience, bro. Like flipping having to do that and then go and fight in a final after like already having like 3 fights previously. But it's just a completely different type of environment, because usually you'd fight luckily 3 or 4 times a year normally with fight camps, but you're getting all of that experience within a
weekend. Plus you got a team of guys with you who maybe they don't do as well, maybe they get knocked out like of the tournament, so they're going, okay, I'm going to eat and drink whatever I want, and then they're around you, and you're like, oh, nah, I can't do that, and it's like it's just all that sort of stuff, you know.
Frank got a huge pizza, and I remember I think we were watching UFC or something. We were watching something in the hotel room after, and he had like a huge pizza and all that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, hey. But flipping, it's worth it though. It's definitely worth it,
100%. That'll
be a good test for the guys. We got a couple. We got how many from our gym going?
Just three from Jack, Ren, and Ryan. So it should be a good little team. And then we've also got the guys from over east as well. Some guys who've competed before in the Gamma. And then I told one of the guys, a wrestler, I was talking to our wrestling coach, that is a really good wrestler as well. So there's the guys I don't know, but they could be pretty good, you know. And the guy who Ryan fought last time, he's competing.
I saw that.
The weight above, so
pretty interesting.
Yeah, very interested. Right, I'm gonna go and grab some more drinks, and we'll just take a quick breather. All right, we're back. Our drinks are refilled and we're ready to go. So we just talked about the Worlds there, and then we were thinking about what we want to be discussing in these episodes and podcasts. And a lot of people were like answering questions, and they were like telling us, giving us feedback. One of the feedback wasn't the greatest. It was we actually send dogs to sleep. So I see Jay's video. One of the videos goes the dulcet tones of Cage Chronicles. The dogs falling asleep.
That was pretty cool. Hey, I had the podcast on in the house, and then the dog was just like sleeping, listening to it. I think
occasionally we just got to go scream or something.
So you got a monotone voice, James.
My voice is
very soothing. Because you were speaking.
I thought my voice is like it's like g'day mate. Everyone reckons I sound really Australian.
You do.
G'day mate.
It's annoying. It's real annoying.
Well, I'm the only Australian here, aren't I?
I'm Australian.
No,
I'm Australian citizen.
Kind of.
I'm not. I'm a refugee.
Pretty much.
He's actually illegal.
Please don't.
Keep down low.
So people asking a lot of different things, and then one of the ones that kept coming up was like fighter mentality, talking about what's it like to be a fighter, what things to work on, more the mentality of training and competing, because obviously it's very different from just your day-to-day training and actually having to step in the ring or the cage or on the mats for the first time and competing. So I thought maybe they'll talk a little bit about that, you know. So what's your thoughts? What do you think you need to work on, James and Kevin, like when you first stepped on the mats or stepped in the cage or the ring, as opposed to how you feel now? Is there what was the big difference?
I think the Quintet champion should answer this one first. Go for it. What do you
how do you feel on Saturday?
Well, to be honest, when you bring that up, like I've rolled with Dan like heaps of times, right? And so before I was about to match up with Dan, he's like, I've got nothing to lose. He's like, I've got nothing to lose. You've got everything to lose. Like, you're the coach, you're the brown belt. Yeah, if I tap you out in front of everyone here, he's like, you've got everything to lose. And I was just like, shut up. Like, but when
mind games,
I'm like, I'm acting all like nonchalant, and I'm saying I'm going to beat everyone, but I still found that like just before I like went to go against him, like Dan can tap me. He taps me in class. So I was like, still got nervous. Like it's like just a slight bit of nerves, but I still got nervous to go out there in front of everyone. And I remember afterwards, like Steve said to me that it was good though to like being the coach in that, and then to jump in there in front of everyone, because like Steve said, like a lot of coaches or higher belts just won't even like bother, because what if they do get caught by a white belt or a blue belt in front of everyone, and then like their ego won't handle that. So like I went knowing that, it can happen. You can get caught. Like
everyone gets caught. If you don't get caught, you're not really going with anyone decent.
I didn't know. It was like it was like I was having a Sunday afternoon cup of tea. Like, to be honest, like Dan could have come with a bit more, but yeah. So, but so it's like I think one thing that like really helped me with competing was like realizing that I am going to be anxious and I am going to be nervous. Like you're going to have that anxiety, you're going to have the nerves, and just to understand that they're coming. That who knows when they're going to come. Sometimes it comes really early, like weeks out. Sometimes it's like the day of, whatever. But you're going to have them. To know they're coming, and that's part of it, and then accepting it. When I realised that, I was like, it wasn't about like looking around. I'm like, I might be watching you go in the cage, and I'm like, oh, Kev just like doesn't even get nervous. I get nervous. Maybe I shouldn't even be competing or whatever. But it's like no, everyone gets it, and then at different times, like for Battlegrounds, it was like when I got the contract, it was like 8-9 weeks out. Oh, I was like couldn't even sleep. But like I was so stressed, and then the day of, I was like cool as a cucumber. Like the whole thing, stepped out into the mats. I was like so chill. Chilling, but I've had like smaller competitions, like where I was way more nervous, like stepping onto the mats. So I think just it can come at different times, but just knowing and just accepting it. And then the other thing that like really helped me with competing was to sort of not take it so serious. Like I thought you had to be like all in. Like you just I'm gonna win like at all costs. Like I think everyone's different, but for me, I realized that like no, I just want to compete for myself. No one cares like whether you win or lose. No one really cares. It's like you put so much pressure on yourself, everyone around you, and after coaching so many people compete. Like you go to an SGT, we got like 17 people competing. You coach how many matches? At the end of the day, if you came to ask me and Steve, like out of our members, like out of our students, like who did what and who won what, it all blurs together. You cannot even remember. You're happy for them if they win. You're happy, like it doesn't matter as long as like everyone's
happy them getting
enjoying it.
Yeah. Obviously, if everyone wins, beautiful. It's amazing. Looks great for the gym, or whatever. But it doesn't really matter as long as they're in there giving it a shot. You know what I mean, and giving it a try. And everyone gets nervous. And like you've gone from like not competing for like so many years, and then just competing all the time now. So I was just interested in how you sort of found it now going into more and more competitions and how you dealt with it. You know what I mean? Especially having that massive break, because I've done that before. I've had a massive break and I've jumped into the competition, and it's like I don't know, I'm going to handle it. But then that was my first Battlegrounds was my first no-gi match in I think 9 years. So
that's nuts.
But I've been saying to the guys as well in the gym that are like talking about competing, and they're like, I'll wait until I'm better. I'll wait until I've lost weight. I'll wait until my cardio's better. And I'm just like, it's always going to be something. I was like, you just got to go. And then some people are like, oh no, because when I get ready, like I'm going to be all in. And I'm like, I get that, but I mean,
never going to be like that.
It's just,
and it's like, and then they go, how come so and so is getting so good? Because he's competing all the time, and he's lost a lot, and now he's just really good. You know what I mean? So you just got to get there and do it, because while you're just thinking, I've got to be this perfect nutrition and perfect training and feel the best and not be injured. I was like, I don't have ever competed not injured. I've always had some kind of injury. So I'm like, just go and do it. Just give it a try. And if you lose in 10 seconds, you lose in 10 seconds. But you're going to get that experience, and next time it won't be as hard. That's what you want to do. You want to like just put yourself in there, and again, you're always going to be nervous, but the more experience you have, the more you go, I'm used to this. I've been here before.
I think like biting the bullet is like important to an extent. Obviously, you want to be like, you don't want to have no idea about what you're doing before you go for it. But at the end of the day, like you were saying, James, like, accept that you are always going to have like some sort of nerves. They're going to hit at some stage, and like I think it's more important about like how you process it, because at the end of the day, like if you're like nervous and you're scared and you're like afraid or like a bit fearful about a competition or something that's coming up, right? Even if you just go like, okay, I'm gonna like just like pretend to be brave about this and I'm just gonna go for it, like that in itself is like bravery. Like you're deciding to be
still
brave
doing it.
Yeah,
you're just trying to pretend and then convince yourself. But you're still doing it.
Yeah, and then you get and then obviously once you do it as well, like it's experience. It's like you've been battle tested. You learn from it as well, and like I think getting out of your head, like for me, like throughout my journey anyway, has been a lot of like mental kind of like revelations and realizing that like, well, at the end of the day, I train every day because I love it, and like I want to compete because I want to test myself and I want to be better, and I want to find out what areas I do need to improve on. And if I do it every day in the gym and I have fun and it's always like it's a good vibe, which I like. If I was to like walk across like a 2x4 plank on the floor, easy as I can balance on it, walk across. You take the same plank and you put it 20 feet in the air, and then suddenly it's like this big thing in people's heads. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, like it's the exact same plank. Like you're doing the same thing. If you let everything else around you like really get to you, it's gonna affect something that you know that you can do. And then also, when you said to people not really caring, like you're both gonna wake up the next day and decide what you want for breakfast. Like, do you know what I mean? So if you put like so much pressure on winning or losing, I feel like that's like really detrimental to like your performance, your understanding of everything. Obviously you want to win, everyone wants to win, but like I feel like if you go in there, at least personally, I always have the kind of idea that I'm going out there to like test my like abilities that God's blessed me with, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun and I'm going to leave it all out there. And as long as I do that, then no one can take anything away from me. It doesn't matter if I lose. Like if I spend like each like minute of that fight making the other guy work for it, and I lose and I leave, I can like leave with my like head held high, knowing that like I put on a good performance and stuff as well. And I think
you're never going to get away with not being pissed off for a bit. Like you're always going to finish me pissed off, but you just can't. You got to be like professional with it. I think that's what it is. You finish and you go, right, one of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose. You can win really, really well, or you can sometimes lose really, really badly, and it could be the worst thing like in your life at that point. But then like a couple of months later,
back to the drawing board.
It's no difference at all. Like there's been times I think I've only been knocked out once in a fight, and that was the worst few months of my life. Afterwards, I was like, it was the worst. Like I thought everyone was like knew I got knocked out. Like even like old women in the street, like
old I'm like, do the shop.
They're not being, oh man, they're gonna think I'm just shit, you know. Like, and it's like no one cared at all. And then like now I'm like I don't even give it a second thought. Like years later, and I don't regret any of the fights I've done, but I've learned from the mistakes I made with that particular one, that I shouldn't have done certain things at a certain time, and it was all to do with weight cutting and things like that. But
it's a man in the arena as well. You know that who said that? Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah,
have you heard that one about like?
Oh yeah, I think so.
It's not it's not like the critic. My old coach Colin Marr from back home, he showed me this like ages ago when I first started, and like it's stuck with me ever since. But like it's not the critic who counts like how badly the man stumbles or how the doer of deeds could have done them better. But the credit belongs to the man in the arena who strives valiantly and knows like both like the greatest highs of victory and the lowest forms of defeat. But like he'll never rest with the cold and timid souls that neither know victory nor defeat. No, I know it's not proper deep. But like,
do you remember all that?
I can't remember.
I don't know. It just came out of my head.
I thought it was like going to be a sentence, and then you were like, I was like,
to be honest, actually,
hey, bring that quote up, Robin. All right, we got to double check
on
this.
The screen over there on the screen. But and I always thought about that. I'm like, if you go and you put yourself out there, like credit to you, like do you know what I mean? And you're always gonna have those guys up in the crowd like with their beers going like stand up, you know. But at the end of the day, you're the one out there, you're getting experience, and you can like really hold that like for you and everything, learn from it, character building, all that. Like
you I mean you're gonna win some, you're definitely gonna lose some at some point if you go long enough. There's only a handful of people who are never going to lose, but like you're going to lose, but you're going to learn so much from that, and you're going to come back stronger, or you go, oh no, it's just not for me. You know, I was going to break them. But I've known guys they've lost the first 5 fights, and I've been like, geez, like they've got some real dedication. Then they've gone on to win national titles, and it's like, it's just because they've got the mentality. This is experience. This is just, I'm getting experience to get better. As long as I use this experience to get better, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, my dad always said like a man that never made a mistake never learned anything as well. So I feel like, especially early on, I think as an early fighter, like you go out and you like win your first 5, 6, like I was just thinking about jiu-jitsu there, not MMA, but you win your 5, 6 matches, like, or whatever, and you're just teeing people up early on, like, you might not actually be well prepped to expect, like, good level competition, and then take it when you do lose. It's like a very big, like, ladder to climb, but I feel like a lot of guys that have, like you said, lost early on, but stayed dedicated and pushed through it, like, have been able to just, like, flip 180 and kind of...
Because I've seen the other way as well, where guys have gone... guys and girls, and they've gone like on a tear and they've just beaten everyone, then suddenly they've got 1 loss, then they've got 2 losses, maybe 3, and it just messes with their head. It's like, what am I doing wrong now? When doing nothing wrong, it's just you started coming up in advancement of the experience of the person who's going against you, and it's getting a bit more difficult. So you just got to up your game, or you got to change your game plan where you're going in. There's not doing anything wrong. It's just that you've now got your losses here, then have them back here. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, I think you learn so much more from, because I've had fights and I've knocked people out, and I've gone like, this is the best thing ever, and everyone's like, oh man, that was sick, and that. But like, no, I never give it a second thought afterwards, like in learning anything. But when you lost, so you get in a position you can't get out of. You're like, I am never getting caught in that position again. And that's happened to me a couple of times. It's just like you stuck something for like a round, and you're like, how do I get out of that? You know, and then I'm gonna drill it to death.
That was my first couple jits comps, and my first couple like novice MMA fights, like back in Ireland. My first, I think it was my first jits comp. I was stuck in like bottom mount, and then close guard for like 2 matches, 5 minutes each. And I just like thought I knew how to pass, and you just stuck there. Nothing happened for that whole time. I was so frustrated, but I remember straight back into the gym, like, how do I get out of this? Like, teach me how to pass this. And then my first novice MMA fights, I was a huge chip on my shoulder, did taekwondo from a young age, and then got like head kicked straight off the bat, like bad, like taken out in like the first 30 seconds of the fight. And then obviously like it's never nice at the time, but then it's like, okay, I gotta reevaluate this. I've gotta like have a look, and it's good because then you kind of like, obviously that like humility like helps you actually get better. And then like becoming a coach as well, obviously world coaches here, dream team, 100%. But sharing that with people that haven't experienced it,
and I think that's what it is, sharing. Because to be a good coach, you've won, you've lost, you've messed up, you got injured, and then you're showing everyone else maybe this is what you do not to do that. Whether we listen to ourselves, I don't know. But you're basically trying
to... Let's go straight on.
Go back to episode 2 for that one.
I think the real fans will know what we're on about.
I think it's easier just to not do it. Just not compete. Like I knew when I went back to competing, I knew that I didn't have to. I could just keep coaching. No, it doesn't matter. Like no one's going to be like, it wouldn't make any difference to anyone. Like, and it's easier just to not do it. So you have to sort of like just push that through that bit of like fear, and anxiety to do it. And it's definitely so worth it. Like
on the other side of it now, like how are you glad that you did?
Oh yeah, I mean like going back to competing, and then obviously the more you do it, it does get easier. You still get that fear and nerves and anxiety, but it's just easy not to do it. But it's like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So it's like what you said, but that was like a lot easier way of saying.
Yeah, that was a good. Michael Jordan said that, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
I feel like Michael Jordan said that because I said that the other day, and then I think it was George from the gym loves his basketball. He was like, "Did you just quote Michael Jordan?" And I was like, I didn't even know who said it. I was like, I
think it was Winston Churchill. So it's like, but you just gotta like just go out there, and then it does get easier, and then coming on the other side of that, it's like the amount of like growth is massive. Like of anything you do, any little competition, anything extra.
If you think about like guys in our class in the jiu-jitsu, for example, and you go compete for the first time, doesn't matter how good they do, if they win or they lose, how much better do they get? straight away get so much better.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
say
it doesn't matter,
you're
just
going to
do
get
it.
like heaps better straight away. And just their mentality, everything changes because they go, oh, that's what it's like. I've got to train like this now. And some guys in like for striking stuff, you're in class and they're going, your fitness has got to be up par. We've got to like get you ready. And they're like, oh yeah, but I've just did 10 rounds there. I was like, that's not 10 rounds proper. That's not under pressure. That's not under fear. That's not with adrenaline. You got to like really get prepared. So we're trying to like put them through as best we can and get the fitness as best we can. But you're going to be tired. You're going to come back to that first round and be like, why is my legs not working?
The adrenaline dump, I think, is like, that is like one of the...
But the experience you get from that and then go, right, I know what that feels like now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you want.
Yeah, you got to like, I was going to say, because you don't do that all the time, like flipping, especially MMA, like, you don't like CTE, like you don't want to be getting like hitting the head that hard, but
but like even just pressure. I mean, I'm a big believer in like not sparring hard all the time, and when I was starting off, all I was sparring was hard. Like in our gym, it was just like hard. Everything was hard, and that's why I've got so many injuries now. I can't remember where I've parked my car. So it's just like it was just like crazy. Like why did we go so hard? But it was like that mentality. That's how we do it. But I think you don't have to do it all the time because you're never going to progress as fast. I don't think because you need to be able to practice stuff at a certain pace. Okay, we're learning new drills in the class, which you need to do. Some people just stick with the same thing they always do. And I'm going to do it at hard pace. I'm going to bang on and they're all wicked. But you don't see them progress as fast as the other ones because they're going to go, I'm going to go at a lighter pace. We're going to do like reactive stuff. I'm going to work on my range. I'm going to take this away today, not tell anyone. Then I'm going to use this. So I might get beaten up a little bit more, but I'm going to practice this skill set. And that's how good you're going to get.
Like
and people like... Now, as you get older and older, it's like it just makes more sense. Like it just makes so much more sense than just I'm going to bash on. I'm going to throw the same shots I always throw, and then you see them progressing in the fights, and it's like you're not getting any better. You know,
like working on the hardware without damaging the software. Like, but then also
you
like,
just got a quote.
I'm telling you, no joke.
You've been reading quote. You got a quote of the day. Toilet paper.
No. I've been practicing. I've been waiting to pull all these out. But
don't bring this on the Cage Confessions.
Cage Confessions, though. Hey, but that linked in with like you're saying, you might not even say it to anyone. That like, okay, man, today I'm gonna like focus on
it's
my...
not the dog in the fight.
Pull a ball out. I'm gonna work on my defense today, you know, or like jiu-jitsu, like, I'm gonna work from this position, right? And like you clearly working there because you're not good at it, but you don't say anything to anyone, and then someone else, like, I'm just trying to think, goes and has a round with you, and then like feels like they like really got the upper hand on you that round, and even like mentally you might be like, man, I kind of got my ass whooped a bit that round, but at the end of the day, like, you're losing those little battles, watch this, so you can win the war. There you go, there's another one.
But I think this made me sick. I think
Dad Joke King over
I think
here.
From that is good because it's a win-win. The way I see it as a coach is that if you're going against someone, you go, right, I'm not really going to work this today, but I'm going to do it. I always do this, but I'm going to try to do this. And you get like more beaten than you normally would, isn't like to the punch or whatever, or some certain submissions or whatever. That other person's like, this is the best day of my life, and their confidence comes up. Therefore, they get better, and now you got this team which is getting better and better and better. But you're getting something out of what you're doing. So if I'm a lot bigger than someone, which I am, I'm not small. So I'm going to go with someone. I'm going to work.
You're pretty weak.
I'm pretty strong though, But I'm going to work on my left side pass. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to work from the guard. But you don't tell someone. You're not going to go, hey, I'm just going to work my guard today. Like you're just going to do certain things. So you get something out of that as well. And then you're both working because now I'm sort of restricted in what I'm going to be able to do. And people are too frightened about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say the funny
Don't
thing.
say something cool.
No, it's not cool. I was gonna say it's actually on what you were saying. The kind of like little I'll just call it like blessings in disguise. So like you don't say, oh, like, I'm gonna work on this position I'm really bad at, or this technique I'm really bad at. So you're doing that. The other person who maybe might be like less confident, starting to build up their confidence and stuff against you like that as well. But then to keep the egos in check, you hear that person saying to someone else in the gym, like, oh, like, I whooped James today, and they're all but that's my point. That's what I'm on about. It's good, like it's good for good for the ego.
But that's when you yeah,
bit of ego.
that's when you're going to get better. When I was a blue belt, all I would do, it was like I had my A game, and I would just put that on everyone, and I did not want to lose, and I would just be like going hard with my A game, and then I was like, after a while, I was like,
getting stagnant.
I was like, I want to get my purple belt, and I was like, what do I need to do? And then I was like, I didn't even know anything off my back, nothing at all, because I just go my A game every single roll, and I was like hurting people all the time because I was just trying to win every roll. So then I was like, I want my purple belt. Okay, I'm going to start off my butt every single round, and I was getting like everyone was passing my guard and beating me, but and it hurts because you're like, and then they are talking like, I'm smashing James, like, you know, and then you're like, but you have to like, if you can throw that like away and just like go, I know what I'm doing. And it's going to help me, and then you will progress. And you see it in the gym.
But not a lot of people are at that level of like being able to stop their ego.
Yeah,
you know. And again, everyone does. I do it as well. But like, you know, someone like I'm doing sparring, someone clips me or someone subs me. I'm like,
it's like,
and it's trying to hold it back and be actually good. That's pretty sick because like we've been teaching them. Yeah, and they've just got that one on me, and they must be getting better. You know what I mean?
Bittersweet.
And I've seen some of the lads in the class. Guys and girls obviously doing stuff, and I seen it the other day when the sparring literally on Thursday, and someone got like from someone who has not been got much experience got head kicked,
right?
And it wasn't like a massive kick, but it caught the glove, and I was like, whoa, like this, like, and that other person didn't suddenly get ego and retaliate, like it was just like. We just continued that normal. Yeah. Even though I just went, whoa. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Made it worse.
Yeah, but I thought, man, that's real mature. Yeah. You know, like that's because they know they're better than that person, but I'm not just going to punish you for hitting me. Yeah. That's pretty cool that you've been able to do that, you know what I mean? Because it means you're getting better. And that's how we bring everyone up.
Well, you just do what I do. Is like, if anybody subs me with something I taught them, I'm like, well, I just kind of sub myself because I taught you that. So really, it's like I got that sub then. Like, so
that's bullshit.
It doesn't work like that. I just take away. Or if someone subs someone with something I taught them, I'm like, well, I just subbed you. It's like.
That's the energy you want in the gym though as well. Like
you don't want someone punishing and then just like sweeping them, dropping them on their ass, and then walking away like, I'm King B. It's like. Okay.
And you want to get rid of the stigmas, like you said, flipping. I've had times, sparring where someone's like hit me, like Harvey stuff or something, like a question mark, like through the face, and then like, I knocked out my mouth guard or something, and I pick it up, and then I look back, and the eyes are like a bit like, oh, crap. And I'm like, no, like that was sick, like you know what I mean, like high five and stuff, because it's like you said, brings up that level, iron sharpens iron, like we're gonna.
It's like, I'm gonna try and tag you back, but I'm not gonna punish you for doing that. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Which is really cool. The dog just came in and farted.
I'm telling you, we need a blooper
section. Can we cut that one off?
We need to get a blooper section.
We're going.
All right.
Welcome back to Cage Chronicles. I was going to say confessions, but I was like, nah. So what were we saying?
I was just going to ask you, like, just an experience from yourself, obviously from an amateur now to a professional fighter, obviously fairly fresh with the professional, but like difference between your first fight to the last fight, what would you say the big difference is with the mental aspect? What have you learned? What is your process now? And what is something you want to implement?
Cool. I think definitely a huge difference from like first fight compared to like my most recent fight as well. What?
Sorry.
What are you laughing?
I was just thinking about that comment.
About what?
With the dog.
Oh, stop. Okay.
Oh, man, I can't.
You keep professional. Keep professional. Right. But yeah, no, huge difference. You gotta set off. You set me off. The first fight was absolutely like in my understanding, shambled. Oh no, I was thinking like my amateur debut over here. I was thinking like in the Italian club. Yeah, that was like a lot of adrenaline. I went out and every shot was like full power.
Yeah.
I think we chatted in like previous podcasts about the whole timer situation where I thought, so you shouted that there was like a 30 seconds left. So anyways, and there was like a minute and a half left and I like gassed out. But after that fight, I didn't remember a thing. The whole thing went super fast. I'm pretty sure I like yacked my guts up after the fight. Like it was just super fast, not a lot of thought process in it. But then following on fight 2 against Abdallah El Tigani, like that was still like better, like a lot better, but still extremely nervous for that fight in the lead up. Like he was like definitely
fight 2.
That was my second amateur.
Was it?
That was my second amateur fight,
yeah.
And I think he went pro after that as well. And he was like, I remember things were getting into my head at that time. Like, I was saying, I have a fight coming up. People were like, who are you fighting? And I would say, Abdallah. And then the reaction would be like, you're fighting Abdallah. And then I would just like, and it would just all get into my head. But then I think in that fight, again, the experience, the things you learn, it was like round 2, I got hit with a big knee, cut me open, my nose was like bust up, I was bleeding, and then I just kind of had this moment of realization in the fight where I was like, I've been getting teed up on, and I'm like still here. And then I was just like, let's just go, like, and then I kind of like just stopped thinking from that in terms of being afraid, and I just started, like you're saying, taking shots and going, and I ended up having like a kind of good second half of the second round, good last round, and then that rolls on into following fights after that, made improvements, learned, had more experience, and I think the biggest things that I probably started to learn was like at processing and composure for fights, actually being able to pull myself out of that tunnel vision of like, I'm gonna go in and like smash it, to like, no, like this is a thought process, this is like a problem solving kind of situation, like a game of chess. Like, I may not have met this guy before, I don't really know much about him, what his stance is, what he's gonna throw, so when I come out, like I need to like feel that out a little bit, I need to start to think and kind of focus on the things I'm good at and be competent, knowing that I train every day, and at the end of the day when I'm in there I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And then I think when it comes to like the main thing is like nerves, getting myself to that point of like being cool, calm and collected before I go in there and just really confident. I think a big thing for that is like just processing it before the fight. So I think the more you train, at least for myself anyway, the more I train, the more my doubts go, because I think that a lot of doubt comes in when I like don't feel fit, or maybe I'm slacking on sessions and my nutrition and stuff. When I just train all the time and I'm putting in the work, PTs, one-on-ones, going through technical stuff, working on the jits, all the different aspects, I feel prepared, and I'm like, well, there's not really much more I can do from a very physical point of view, so that's that box ticked. And then from a mental point of view, trying to prepare myself for, well, we're both going out, we're going to compete, everything we said previously about like, don't build it up to more than it actually is. Like, we're going out, I'm going to have a fight, and I want to make the most out of it and be able to look back and say, I really enjoyed that. And then just personally for me, like, spiritually is a big one. Like, I definitely get into a big headspace. I pray before I fight. And I always think about the fact that, like, at the end of the day, like, I could get hurt physically. Like, you know, like, like, kicked in the legs, like, flipping, big swollen chins, get hit in the head, get knocked out, all of that. But at the end of the day, like, it's just another person. I'm a person. I don't necessarily, like, have any animosity towards them. I actually, like, would love to, like, grab a drink with them and stuff afterwards and all that and get on. So there's nothing personal from that. And seeing as it's like, well, I think this is the path that's been laid out before me by God. So following that, like, happy days, like, I can't really go wrong. So then, just having that kind of a understanding when I fight is just fun. I go out and then have like an amazing time, meet cool people, travel to awesome places in the world as well. You get to like experience a lot. And I think, from like day one, those fights to like recently, it's just been an absolute like journey so far, and I've loved like every minute of it. So, and I actually think going back to like my little sayings, we did an interview when I first started training in the gym, and I'd mentioned that it's about the journey and not the destination. And I think like people can get very caught up about where they want to be, and I'm like, nah, if I don't really hold anything too tightly about where I want to be, like I won't miss out on what's happening at the minute. And right now we're having an awesome podcast.
I think that the training aspect, you got to enjoy the training. It can't just be about the fight. You got to be in the gym doing the training, doing the rounds, and this gives you so much confidence. Because when I used to compete, if I could do a certain amount of rounds on the pads at a hard pace, and I could get my fitness back, I was always like worried I was going to gas out.
Yeah,
and that was a mental thing for me. So it was always like, if my fitness, that's why I'm a big thing with you guys. That you're always going to be super fit. Yeah. So, but like, if I gas out, it's something I can control. I can't control how good the other person is.
Yeah.
I can work on my skill set, but that's just a matter of time, and I can put the reps in. But it's just how much time you're going to do that for. And then again, you're never going to be perfect, so I'm never going to put it off for years and years and years and not compete. But I can work on my fitness. I can work other things. That's things I've got in my own control.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all that mental thing. Like, okay, I could do this many rounds in the pads to get my fitness back. I can do this with the wrestling. I can do this, do that. And there's this little like markers in my head. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much ready. But you're never going to feel like 100% ready.
You're always going to have something.
I don't think so.
And it'd be pretty frustrating if you like were skillfully or technically on par with someone, and then you just don't have the gas to go.
Which has happened before, because I've had like 2-day fights.
Yeah.
Where it's been like, my coach is on Wednesday, go, do you want to fight Saturday? And I've gone, oh, I'm overweight. Oh, it's the weight above. Am I getting paid for it? And I was like, yeah. And then I'd fight, and man, you would gas. Like, you do. Sometimes do really good, and then sometimes you wouldn't, but you gas. And there's nothing worse than feeling gassed, because then you can't do your skill set. You know, you can't do your techniques that you want to do and stuff. So I think that's one thing you can control. Yeah. But it's definitely a learning curve when you're going through that journey.
Yeah. I was like, what chat about your fights and stuff. I was gonna say, what, like, I think a lot of the viewers would love to listen to like some of the like stories or anything you have from your fights. Is there any like moments in your career, or like obviously like coaching now, but like you have a whole wealth of experience, any like really big moments where you're like, oh, this was a wicked fight, or like a really pivotal I'm saying that wrong, too much whiskey. Pivotal pivotal moment for me. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's heaps of different ones, but like, because I've competed in different stuff, so I did a lot of competition, lots of fights in Muay Thai, and then obviously had a heap of fights amateur MMA, then the pro MMA, plus when I first started, and now I did like quite high level taekwondo, competed on a national level, traveled a lot for that, so I've had all these different things, but there's like just been certain times where things have happened and it's like progressed you like even more, but I think my first MMA fight, I think I'd gone, that was just a big learning curve, because again, out of my head, I thought it was the bee's knees.
Class, yeah. How old was it?
My first MMA, I think it was 17, 18, something like that. So
Yeah.
maybe 5 years ago. About 5 years ago.
It was all in black and white. Horse and cart to get to the fight.
Well, the first MMA wasn't really a big thing in England, like at the time, and there's a few guys over in Australia, actually over east, and that they were fighting on the same circuit as me. It was really weird how this is a small world, but first one we had, it was like pretty much everyone's just deciding between the gyms, or what's the rules, what we're going to do, you know. And you do like this one was like a 10-minute round with a 5-minute second round overtime. So we didn't finish him in the first 10. Do 5 overs. Then we had the idea of doing 15-minute like pad work. So it was like, it was like a little bit crazy, and you'd have the first ones which are like pancras, which was like bare knuckle to the body.
Oh, was it bare knuckle?
Palm strikes to the head, bare knuckle to the body, and then elbows, and then you could pretty much do whatever you wanted, heel hooks and stuff like that. You could do whatever you wanted, but that was my first ones. Then you'd start putting these like little gloves on, which you'd bring your own gloves and stuff, and then they start getting more regulations. But the first MMA fight I had was just insane, because like I was so nervous, and then I'd fought quite high level in taekwondo. I'd been doing Muay Thai for about 6 months or something, and I've been doing like grappling for a little while. And I just went out and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and I was just absolutely shitting myself. And it was like a lad from Holland, and they brought him over, and then they'd had a lot of like actual bare knuckle stuff over there, like over there. And he came over and he was super aggressive, and it was the most fouls I've ever had against me in my life, but the referee didn't do anything about any of them. So I got eye gouged, I got bitten, I got headbutted twice. It was just like brutal. But I was like so nervous that I was more aggressive than I've ever been in my life, because I'm a pretty placid person. I'm not really aggressive. But I was like, I don't know. And I got him down like a few times. He brought my nose with a knee, and I took him down, and then I was on top, and I was smashing him, and I'm swearing. Like, that's just not me. Like, and I was just like, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And then I finally got him in like an Americana.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna rip his arm off and that because he was doing all these things to me and the ref was doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because the ref was a Thai boxing ref.
Oh,
Didn't really know what was going on. He didn't know jiu-jitsu and stuff. Yeah. But I think that was just it would show me that like, oh man, I was going to go, I'm going to work my hands because I've been doing Thai boxing, this and that. And I think I just threw kicks and takedowns. Yeah. And it was just like random how you think in one aspect when you train, and then another aspect you get into there and you got so much adrenaline. Like I'm just going to go back to what I know. So I'm throwing like head kicks. And I'm just going for double legs and stuff just like that. You used to, yeah. But that was like a big opening of my eyes because I felt like that was my real first fight. Yeah. Where it was just like anything goes pretty much. Yeah. And then it helped with my Muay Thai after that, and it helped with everything else and stuff. Yeah. But
what weight? What weight did you compete at back in the day?
70.
70.
Yeah, I was a beanpole. Yeah, 70.
I was gonna say you're so skinny. Nah, you'd be real skinny.
Yeah, so I was the same height. I was just 70. I was just a skinny. Yeah. So 70 kilos, 70, and then I started fighting at 75, and then I obviously went up to welterweight and stuff like that. But I think I'm walking around about 82 at the moment.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was rubbish.
Plus another 15.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
82 plus 15.
What about, when was your first time competing, James?
Oh.
Like, did you, and jiu-jitsu, have you done?
I heard that you were a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
I actually?
Yeah.
Really?
But I never I
was only black stripe, I never got to black belt.
I got
Taekwondo?
Belt. Yeah, but I never competed. That was years ago.
Yeah.
And then the first time competing, I don't know, would have been, well, it was pretty early on, like white belt level. And it was like one of those things where I think it might have been on, I don't know if it was like AFBJJ or Adam Metcalf's, I think it was BJJ for life. That SGT was called BJJ for life
Judo
at the time. At the UWA Judo Club. So it was either there or at Craigie. And it was I think my first match, I won with top side control Americana, and it's and then you're like, oh yeah, this is sweet. Like you get that and you're just like, this is the best ever. And then I'm like, this is my move now. So top side control Americana becomes your thing. You're like a gun. You're just and then, but I remember I got flying armbarred in another match. I don't know if it was this is the same comp or another comp. It was they were sort of blurred together. But I got flying armbarred, and that hyperextended my elbow because I was just standing there holding the guy. He just jumps, flying armbars me, hyperextended my elbow was wrecked for ages. And then same thing happened on the other arm, in another match. Not sure, same comp.
Wait, flying armbar as well.
Flying armbar, yeah, twice. And so then after that, I was never again, never again. Never get caught there again.
Stop grappling like this.
Yeah, but at first you because I got the win with the Americana and all that. I was like, oh, this is sweet, and then but it's just hard to remember back. I think. The only other one I can really sticks in my head was when Wes Capel was teaching at our gym.
Yeah.
And so he was teaching Muay Thai because when I first started I was doing MMA, Muay Thai and then some no-gi grappling. I wasn't really doing any gi. And then I went in another no-gi comp and Wes went in it and he was my coach at the time for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And he was fighting and everything at the time. I think he might have been fighting on that that Combat 8 or something MMA and stuff like that. And and then we got to the end and then it was me versus him for the gold.
Yeah.
And he spinning armbarred me from knee ride and I'll just never forget it because I was damn it, I could have got gold, but he beat me. But I just remember realizing the difference between me and Wes being at the time an athlete who's fighting, he was fighting in the cage and boxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that, and just how quick. How quick he was, bang, straight away. But I just remember thinking that, while I was there on the bottom, and then he just went and got it, and then he armbarred me, and so
it's someone doing it this is their life full time, and there's someone doing it as a hobby at that time.
Yeah,
that's the difference as well. You're working full time, and he would have been as well, but that was he was at that high level with the striking, and I think it transfers over pretty good with that mentality.
Yeah, you could just tell that difference. Just that speed and that killer instinct,
especially with the striking. I feel when it comes to grappling, if you just have traditionally kind of like jiu-jitsu kind of grapplers, I feel like different kind of style compared to like MMA style grappling. Like it's very like I don't know, like maybe top kind of pressure, like very, very fast, like lots of scrambles and stuff like that as well. And like I think obviously like you can still be like catch people on your back and things like that, but from my experience, guys in MMA usually don't like play that kind of stuff too much, you know. And it's just like it's almost like a bit more like wrestling dominant as well. It's just like heavy.
It's nice to have that. I talk to some of the jiu-jitsu guys, like my students and that, and it is nice to have the MMA guys in the gym, because then it's like we're getting, like you said before, the gi and the no gi. It's like the same thing but different. And then like even no gi to like MMA grappling. Like I say, it's like MMA grappling. Like I know sometimes when I roll with you, like I think maybe if you got fights coming up and stuff, and then I was finding you were sucking me into your game, and then all of a sudden I'm now in an MMA grappling match.
I just try to go full tilt.
Yeah, and I was like, and then I'm gassing out because I was just like, and he's just like still going.
Like put the pace on as hard as I can.
And so I'm like, I can't keep on doing like my like playing, like they call like jiu-jitsu people players. It's like I can't keep playing jiu-jitsu with Kev when he's doing MMA grappling. It's like I've got to either stop him and then force him into my game, or I've got to like do MMA grappling as well.
Shut him down.
And so it's like these, they're all the same, but it is nice to have that, because it's like if you can start to split, it means now I can play jiu-jitsu in the gi, I can play in no gi, but then I can also get those MMA grappling rounds in with like the MMA guys, like when I'm going with Alden or like, you know, if Wongy's in that mindset or yourself or something, it's like, cool, okay, we're going to do this MMA grappling where it's like, I know you guys are going to be looking more to just get back up, be on top, not be on your back. Like you're never going to chill on your back and stuff like that. And so then it helps for anything. So say I go and have a gi match, but it's like I can go back to like playing like that, but I've also had that intensity of doing
good
like
mix
the
of
MMA.
That's why it's good to mix it all in.
So, but you got to be able to like, you definitely have to be able to switch, like, you know, like switch those lanes. Like in your mind, you got to be like, I can't. I need to like see and like.
Those are like mental barriers, almost like if you haven't experienced that. And let's say you're in a comp, and then someone's like coming in at you like that, and you haven't experienced, like it can take you off guard a little bit. But having like experienced that in the gym, like really prepares you and stuff for it as well, you know.
So we're gonna have to round it up anyway, because we've gone over the usual hour that we've done, so we're going a bit further. But if anyone's got any ideas of what they want to hear about, make sure you're posting it on the video and let us know any questions you have. I was thinking of a couple of ideas as well we can maybe incorporate. I was thinking maybe we could even have someone like sending videos and asking the questions. We can put it in the video, then we can answer those questions and stuff. That might be quite fun. But I think the different things, we will start getting people on as guests as well, but we're just trying to cut our teeth here a little bit and just get used to just talking. But let us know what you think of it, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you. Thanks guys. Cheers.
See you.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.